Sometimes the most golden Fox News moments happen when no one's really paying attention, like this adorable little quip between Ainsley Earhardt and Brian Kilmeade on Fox and Friends.
Well, we always say that Dawn does the shoveling at your house since you work a morning show.
Right.
She hasn't made as much spending money because I know you pay her to do that.
Right.
Because we haven't had any snow.
But first, I like to see how she does. I don't just give her money.
So you review your wife's work?
Yeah, and I do through the Ring doorbell.
Have you?
So I could have the money ready,
which I think just got hacked.
Right?
Did you see that? Yeah.
Mine?
Ring doorbell.
Oh, just general.
Wait, whoa, what? Oh no, Ainsley, this is not a cute anecdote. That is insanely bizarre and very upsetting. Ainsley, why did you bring that up so casually?
Well, we always say that Dawn does the shoveling at your house since you work a morning show.
Right.
She hasn't made as much spending money because I know you pay her to do that.
Right.
Yeah, we all know that your wife does the snow shoveling and then you pay her for it for her spending money. What? Is Brian Kilmeade's wife a 13-year-old trying to earn enough money for Sour Patch Kids at the 7-Eleven? Also, why is his wife doing the snow shoveling? Isn't that an alpha man's job? Maybe the right should stop blaming Harry Styles for the end of masculinity and start blaming Brian Kilmeade. Or is it kill men? And then, hang on, he pays her for it? Is that like her job? He makes $4 million a year to defend racist parts of Dr. Seuss books. You think he couldn't shell out some dough to pay a snowplower?
She hasn't made as much spending money because I know you pay her to do that.
Right.
And finally, she hasn't made as much spending money because there hasn't been as much snow. Again, what is she doing? Is she saving up to buy a mini backpack from Hot Topic? How old is this woman? Wait, I don't even want to know the answer to that. If it's over the age of 18, give her a damned credit card like every other Republican trophy wife worth her salt.
But first, I like to see how she does. I don't just give her money.
Kilmeade here gets noticeably awkward, though. Like, Ainsley, this is not really for public consumption. But no, that's not why he gets awkward. He gets awkward because he corrects her and says he doesn't just pay her outright. He has to see the job she's done.
So you review your wife's work?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ducey, he reviews her work. 2 stars on Rotten Tomatoes. But still, he's the boss of her life. I mean, love. He's the love of her life. In sickness and in health, or until she passes out from shoveling a driveway in sub-zero temperatures. But without missing a beat, Kilmeade says he looks at the job she's done through the Ring camera.
Yeah, and I do through the Ring doorbell.
Wow, that is real love. You lazy, snooping goblin of garbage. Good God. I hope when your wife does leave you one day, she makes out with a snowplow guy right in front of the Ring camera.
Conversation that I was having with my husband about pornography. My husband completely abstains from social media. And if you ask him, he just casually says, because it's all pornography. And he's talking about Instagram, he's talking about Facebook, he's talking about opening up a page and looking at the Daily Mail. But we've become so desensitized to it. So when I'm on Instagram, I don't even pay attention to the fact that actually, there's just nothing but butts and people's tits on the internet at all times. But we've become increasingly as a culture saying that this is okay. And so I wanted to have that discussion about pornography. I was listening to a Catholic podcast, and they were talking about how even the seeds that are being planted on porn websites, which I did visit yesterday, are all incestuous.
I'm feeling like I should explain what algorithms are and how they work. If you or your husband, in this case, are on social media and it's, quote, just all pornography, it's because they're showing you what you engage with. They're showing you what you want to see, to keep you on the app in order to show you ads to make money. That needs to be said. So when Candace Owens says we've become so desensitized to it, when I'm on Instagram, I don't even pay attention to the fact that actually there's just nothing but butts and people's tits on the internet at all times, she can do something about that. Like on IG, she can, refuse to engage with a post or hide it from herself. And on TikTok, you can say, not interested. So if you think TikTok, for example, is nothing but teen girls dancing, I've learned that it says a lot about you. And if you're like Senator Ted Cruz, it could be because in your likes on Twitter, there was porn. More on the P word later. This Candace Owens clip was from a wide-ranging segment featuring Owens and Ben Shapiro. Insert jokes about him, his wife, and moisture or lack thereof. Oh, the comment section. But can I start with something they got right? Candace claimed that Kim Kardashian orchestrated the release of her famous sex tape with help from her mother, Kris Kardashian. She said that Kris was like Kim's pimp. Shapiro then chimed in, alleging that the story is being, quote, completely ignored by the mainstream media, but paid attention to in the subculture of the internet because you're not allowed to report that Kim Kardashian has obviously exploited her body for money. That's true, but the mainstream media did already report this. We all knew that. It's not new or news. I mean, social media told me. It's kind of like, hey, remember when Ricky Martin came out as gay and it was like, yeah, got it. And then Candace and Ben went on to how feminism led to more porn and the government wanted to use porn to destabilize the nuclear family. And I don't know, you would have to ignore the fact that millennials are less likely to get married than previous generations, but are more likely to get married ourselves when we have bachelor's degrees. Therefore, do so later in age if we choose to get our nuptials on, but are less likely to get divorced, kind of. Plus, the weird way that the divorce rate is measured is weird and inconsistent, kind of doesn't make any sense. Previous generations stayed in bad, manipulative, abusive marriages, and divorces were difficult to come by for women. Also, like, it's almost necessary and great for women to focus on their careers due to everything I just said, and a family surviving or thriving off of one income per family isn't really a thing anymore. But we should keep in mind that there are economic and tax benefits coming from marriage. Besides, again, millennials and Gen Z would rather shack up and cohabitate, likely because the silent generation and boomers' marriages looked awful. As for porn, and sex work for that matter, these are legit careers and means to make money. Hey, there's a lot of people who watch porn for a lot of reasons, including those over the age of 50, who always did it but used magazines and movies. But it's made worse now that the access to porn is so easy now. I would think that Candace and Ben would focus more on personal responsibility in this situation, but whatever. Furthermore, this article from the New York Post cites a study which suggests that there were 3 types of porn watchers. The compulsive group. This group may have made up just 11% of the participants, but watched a staggering 110 minutes of porn per week. Researchers discovered that men were more likely to fall into this category. The distressed group, who watched porn for the least amount of time, about 17 minutes per week. As the name suggests, the distressed group associate their emotional distress with watching X-rated material. And recreational. This group consisted of mainly women and people in relationships. Recreational viewers account for 75% of all participants in the study, watching an average of 24 minutes of porn a week. And yes, porn can be addictive and or linked to unhappy relationships, but the experts concluded that the study, quote, confirms the existence of recreational and compulsive profiles, but also demonstrates the existence of an important subgroup of not particularly active, yet highly distressed consumers. Candace and Ben would have to ignore all that to state their conspiracy. Crap. All of that is going to be in my search history.